You what up? Let me do that actually. Before I finish setting up. Let's not miss keys. I'm on a streak now. I can't stop. Streak of doing this shit and not getting anything. So much for being so rewarding, man. I'm never getting anything from these. I mean, I guess I'm getting some AP. Yeah, I can't complain about that. The AP is probably the more important part. Hello, Loosely. Hello, hello. Are you happy with the patch? That's okay. That's a trick question. Are you talking about this week's patch, or are you talking about the patch that's about to happen in an hour? Now, here's the funny part. My answer is going to be the same, regardless of which one it is. But I think it's funnier if I ask you. The patch in an hour? Yeah, I had a feeling. I mean, today's patch, as far as I'm aware, right, is basically just like a hotfix for most things, and then a light gladiator life leech nerf. But then Glad also gets a bunch of PvE damage, right? So, but yeah, I mean, we're about to look at the patch notes in detail once the server goes down. Although I don't think it's going to be a big one, so I don't think the stream is going to be very big. But thing is, right, Sork and Chant are going to be up. I don't think it's going to do much for Sork. I mean, I guess, like, obviously damage is damage, right? But ultimately, I don't think extra damage is what Sork needs. But and then Chanta, Dark Rush is a big one for sure in PvP. And then for the rest, it's like, yeah, you know, PvE damage. Like, genuinely, if I'm gonna be honest, overall, when it comes to PvE damage, I just don't really care too much right now, because it's not like anything in the game really requires like the highest amount of damage, right? So I care more about the PvP balance when it comes to balance patches nowadays. So don't we need CC? Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been saying, right? And like, you don't even need to be given a CC. You need to land your fucking CCs, because you already have the CCs. It's just that they don't land, which is, you know, a problem that most range classes is experiencing right now. And hello Thrice. Hello. Because like Polymorph could be good. Seal could be good. It just needs to be tweaked, right? It's the same as a Cleric's Root. If Cleric's Root actually worked, honestly, it would be alright. I mean, outside of the fact that Cleric does ZDPS, but I mean, that's another problem. And hello, Snow. Okay, it's legitimately infuriating to try and have a discussion about Cleric with people, because they're like, oh my god, but you have so much PvE damage, you're doing more damage than a Sork. Like, Cleric is the lowest DPS in PvE right now. It's like 10% below Chanta. What are you even saying? And it's like, oh my god, you want Cleric to do as much damage as an assassin in PvP? It's like, no, I just don't want to do 27 points of damage when I attack a Glad. Like, I think that's a reasonable thing to ask, no? But you know. Federated. But yeah, I mean, you know, more than anything, no assassin nerfs, which even on the PvE side, I think assassin needs a slight nerf. It doesn't need a major buff, like a major nerf. It just needs a slight one to put it like more in line with SM. But yeah, no. And then obviously in PvP, assassin is just absurd right now, and they just didn't touch it. So. Hello. Oh, it's Thrice again. Yo, thanks for the Prime, Thrice. Appreciate it. Big Prime. A friendly hello gets a loyal fellow. Hell yeah, brother. That's the spirit. Any glad changes? Fairly significant PvE buffs. A shift of your CC chance from impact hit to be directly built into your basic kit. And its status effect, it's not even like impact type, which means you'll be proccing more Theostones in PvP. Because Gladiator needed that, right? And a slight life leech nerf, I believe. I mean, the Patchnotes will be up in like less than an hour, so I guess we'll go through it in more detail. But I think. Oh, also, one of your buff does the same thing as Templar's Taunt now, which reduces the target's attack and increases your damage, I believe. Got buffed with like leech nerf. I mean, yeah, like gladiators, but I mean, hold on, let me try to pull it up. There we go. Alright, gladiator. Are you planning on playing Cleric and Global? Will your character look the same by chance? If Cleric is the same as it is right now, there is a 0% chance I will be playing it on Global, because it doesn't feel it doesn't fit my playstyle. And is it going to look the same? I mean, probably, yeah. I don't see why not. Like, I'm fine with disappearance, so yeah, I'm probably just gonna import that. I'm not really one to spend like huge amounts of time on the character creator, so I mean, what's likely going to happen is if I can directly export it, then I'll do that. Or if they allow us to like you know, preemptively create the character before the game comes up, then I'll do that. But if we have to make our character the day off, I'm just going to like click randomize, press play, and just change it later. Alright, so Gladiator. Yo, sorry, my voice is a bit dead right now. What's your mental choice at the moment at class? Chanta. Right this instant, Chanta. I would say Templar, but Templar suffers of the same problem of dealing ZDPS in PvP. Chanta fares a tiny bit better right now because of Power of the Storm. And especially with the buff that Chanta is getting today, I think Chanta is actually going to be a menace in PvP. Like 20% extra Dark Rush damage, plus mobility by default, plus force crit. I think Chanta is about to be a fucking menace. Alright, so Gladiator, Runer's Blow, Leaping Slam, Prepare for Battle effect has plus 15% CC chance, so that's what I said, right? Basically, impact type, the impact type passive is getting nerfed, and they're moving the CC chance to Runer's Blow and Leaping Slam. How do you say Cleric wasn't really your type of gameplay or so? What do you dislike about Cleric? Hope you have a good day. Hello, Sherry, and yeah, I'm having a great day. Hope you're having one as well. It's not that Cleric doesn't fit... Okay, it's not that the Cleric gameplay, I dislike it. I actually quite like the Cleric gameplay. It's just that when it comes to PvP specifically, I'm more of a solo player, at most duo, right? So I like to play a class that is like as polyvalent as possible to do solo PvP. And I don't necessarily like to play like a very high burst class, so like Assassin, for example. I just like to play like a somewhat tanky class that can like drag people, like beat them with tricks, you know what I mean? So I do prefer, like, I do tend to prefer like more tanky classes that still have like some killing power, right? And Cleric right now, in the current state of things, Cleric can't fucking kill anything on an equal like gear level. Like Cleric can maybe kill Soak and SM if the SM is bad. And then the rest it just loses to right now, like by default. You can't even like deal damage to these classes. So yeah, at least in the current balance, that's how it is. Who knows what's gonna happen, right? But at least right now, that's how it is. Hello, power. Oh yes, okay. Gladiator rune is rolling me slide, so yeah. Mockingblade. So Mockingblade is gonna do 20% more PvE damage, and the life leech is getting nerfed from 15% to 4%. But the damage of Mockingblade is getting increased by 15% against CC immune targets. So basically, Mockingblade is going to deal like big damage against bosses, but it's going to do less life leech. Need to tell me if you know what class you choose and what's going to look like when Globals comes out. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, ultimately, I'm probably leaning more into Templar. Yeah. Probably leaning more into Templar, but it's, again, I just don't have any specific like right now. Hello, Larry. Okay, next, Crushing Wave. The condition to crit is removed from the lifesteal, so it's always going to lifesteal now. You don't need to crit anymore. Aerial Snare is going to do plus 100% damage against CC immune targets. Murderer's Burst. You now have 30% extra damage in PvE as a passive from Murderer's Burst. So that's pretty huge. Rage Burst. Okay, Rage Burst for 10 seconds decreases the target's attack by 10% and increase self PvE damage boost for by 10%. And PvP damage boost by 5%. And opens 10-second window for Overhead Slam, but that's already the case, right? Now reduce targets. Yeah, okay, so it's basically these. Launch Stance. Okay, Launch Stance is going to give you 5% smite. Like, it's just a straight buff. Launch Stance just gives 5% smite. Lifesteal Blade is going from 7% to 2%. And the Invuln removes dots when you use it now. Murderous Burst is 30% PvE damage. Thank you, MPV. What is your thought about Cleric? It kind of feels like the Cleric can be replaced by a Chenta. Having a Darling character is pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you. I made it myself. I think Cleric is fine. I think Cleric is fine in everything except solo PvP. Now, they have quite significantly like nerfed Cleric's healing power in group content, but overall, I think it's okay. I think it's fine, especially with the existence of Benevolence and with use steals that is going to come back as a... thank you for the follow, Sherry. Use steals that is going to come back as a usable buff after the patch. I think Cleric is doing fine. It's just the two things really that to me Cleric is missing is more baseline damage in PvP. And again, I'm not asking to be doing 15k damage in one hit. I'm asking to be doing more than 30 points of damage per hit on certain classes, right? The more baseline damage in PvP, for better solo PvP, and I would ask for more utility as well, for both group PvP and solo PvP. So more disruption, right? Like a root, something like that, like something that you can use when you don't have any heals. And something that you can use that is just not tanking and healing yourself, right? So basically, I want them to make Root not be complete fucking dog shit. These are the two things I would like to see for Cleric right now. Cleric is fine. Look, I'm just trying to be reasonable because as soon as you say that Cleric is not doing okay since last patch, people lose their mind and they tell you nonsense. So I'm just trying to be reasonable. Today I did Sanctuary 2 full runs on Chinese player. 3 menu 7 on the right square of 3 and left square of 3 empty. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same thing, right? 3 being middle, 7 on the right square of 3. I mean, it's basically kind of the same thing, but mirrored a little bit, yeah. Except 7 is a bit lower. I mean, yeah, like ultimately there's probably multiple setups. As long as you're able to make 8 rolls cover like all of the squares. Like it works, right? Enjoying laying in the garbage disposal? Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I mean, it's been a bit depressing. I will be honest, right? Like I kind of don't even go do PvP because Like, it's just always the same thing, right? It's one of three things happen, right? If I go to PvP right now, I either encounter low gear players that I can actually kill, or I encounter somewhat even gear player that is like running maybe a bit more defensive, and then I can never kill them. Or I run into an evasion assassin or ranger that just by default beats me. So it's a little bit depressing. Now, if I was doing group PvP, I would probably fare a bit better, because I do think benevolence is like really good for group PvP, and overall it's pretty okay. But the other problem I have with group PvP on Cleric right now is that even if you're being really careful with your cooldowns and your heals, you just kind of run out of support buttons to press mid-fight. And then what do, right? Because typically what I do is I use debilitating mark on a big DPS to reduce their damage. I use Chain of Torment on like a gladiator to snare them, stuff like that, right? But because you don't do damage, especially in a group v group, like right, if they have like Chanter or Cleric buffs, you don't do damage at all. There's just no chance, right? So it's kind of missing something on that front. When does the update start? 45 minutes from now. So basically, the plan right now is I'm gonna be doing a bit of PvP until the server goes down. And then we're gonna go over the patch notes together. And then that's gonna be the stream for today. And then tomorrow we blast all day, as always. All right. I could be doing some Transcendence, so here's the other thing, right? Here's the other thing. I would want to do some Transcendence right now because they pushed back the release of the next Transcendence, so I've been saving up my energy to just like, you know, be able to still do dungeons while also doing the Transcendence. But man, I'm gonna have a lot of overflow energy next week. I guess I'll see next week if I do want to spend some extra energy on something else. I guess I'll see. Which, by the way, next week is gonna have nothing. There's no patch next week. So yeah. And then we're gonna have another like quote-unquote major patch the week after that. The feeling of running out of buttons to help or save my teammates is so sad. I want to help but I can't. Yeah. And like, again, it's one of those things where if they don't want us to like heal more, I guess that's okay. But oh, this is a Zerg. Like, I guess that's fine, but I'd give us something else to do. Like, give us disruption. You know what I mean? Because the 10% attack speed reduction on Judgment Thunder doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually impact... It doesn't really actually impact anything, right? And then the snare on Chain of Torment is nice, but it doesn't work if the target plays block, right? So typically, if you want to use the snare, you would want to use it on, like, Gladiator, Templar, Chanter. But all three of these typically use block, right? And you can't really go behind them to not get blocked. So typically, usually it's not gonna land. And that debilitating mark doesn't work on moving targets because the game is good. Which, by the way, it's crazy that 5 months later, this is still a problem. And yeah. But you know, there is one quote-unquote potential saving grace with this patch, and it's the change to damage tolerance and damage boost, where they're both going to be uncapped now, but your damage boost is going to floor at 20%. Like when compared to the target's damage tolerance. Now we have to see exactly how the math is going to operate on that, because basically one of two things is going to happen. Either number one, you're always going to do like some amount of baseline damage on supports now, so Templar, Cleric, Chanter, Glad. You're not going to be doing Z DPS on them as long as you have like a bit of attack and you're not like walled by defense. Or nothing is going to change. So yeah. I guess we'll have to see. As Elementalist, my Kaisenol buff gives 150 block and evasion for myself. What am I supposed to do? Build one of those as defensive? I think most people use Kaisenol for the CC stuff on Elementalist. Because the extra CC chance, and it's funny, right? Every range class basically need that CC, that extra CC chance to be like built baseline. Like they do. But Elementalist is really the only one that gets it. So Elementalist is the only one that can reliably... yes. Gladiator with his pocket cleric. Yes. Another guy. Great. What is it? Templar? Yes. I mean, look at the amount of damage I'm dealing. 500, dude. Like, my dot is taking for 91 points of damage. No fear about Pocket Cleric now, they got no heals, remember? I mean, as I said, right? In a group, I think Cleric is okay. Genuinely, I do. I think Cleric did have a bit too much support in a group scenario, right? And I said this before the patch, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I don't have a problem with the healing output of Cleric right now. It's the other stuff that bothers me. Because if you're gonna be nerfing healing like that, you need to give Cleric that are supporting in groups something else, right? Like give them a button to press to keep helping the group. Whether it's disruption or something like that, like that's it, right? And then on the flip side, like increase Cleric's PvP damage by a little bit. Not even much, right? Not even like a massive amount, just a tiny bit. Give them infinite mana drain, like some with an Iron One. I don't care, I don't PvP right now. Yeah, okay, dude. Fucking calm down, Satan. I mean, here's the thing, right? Just fucking remove this button. Just take it away, dude. Genuinely, who gives a shit about this button, right? They butchered Divine Aura beyond recognition. This shit is completely fucking useless now. In PvP, it actually does nothing. You just have a button in your bar that is missing. And in PvE, it's like extra passive damage, right? And it does okay damage in PvE the way it is. But overall... Okay, I'll see you then. Interesting. But yeah, overall, I would much rather them giving us like a root button over this. It's funny, right? Because in Iron 1, Cleric had a root every 10 seconds, which felt a bit excessive because, you know, the game was much slower on Iron 1, right? So there was not many cooldowns that were this short, right? With this much disruption as Cleric's root. And now that we finally have a fast-paced game where you could justify having a root on a 10-second cooldown, they just don't give it to us. The root was low magical accuracy. I mean, yeah, but if you build properly and if you used it on the right targets, it like the minus 250 magic accuracy wasn't relevant, right? Especially because like if you're in a Dredgen, for example, so a 6v6, you basically use that root on plate, which had like no magic resist. So, yeah. I've been playing on a 4.6 private server since instant indifference in total you have as a Cleric. I mean, to be fair, right? To be fair. Now, to Iron 2's credit, a lot of the button bloat of Iron 1 was just straight up either combined with other skills or put into passives, right? Because there's a lot of like buffs and stuff like that from Iron 1 that, you know, they just kind of existed. And now they're just like passives on Iron 2. But that said, you did have a... On the healing side, you did have an all reliable. Like, basically you had 3 no cooldown heals on Iron 1 as a Cleric. You had Light of Recovery, which was a 1 second cooldown. You had Healing Light with no cooldown. And you had Healing Wind with no cooldown. So if push came to shove, right, you always had a healing button to press. Even like they were not powerful by any mean. They were just all reliable, right? Also had Hallowed Strike. Yes, Hallowed Strike was... Also, Hallowed Strike was like how you... One of the ways you really made the difference between a good and a bad cleric. Because a good cleric, in every situation, both solo and group PvP, always had Hallowed Strike on cooldown. Because that shit was incredibly disrupting. Yeah. An interesting escape route. Let's see if that pays off. Okay. It did not. It did not. Don't you dare, the spell was the bane of my existence, I would be stunned. Yeah, I mean, Hallowed Strike was extreme, but that was the point, right? I think Hallowed Strike overall was like an okay addition. Although maybe the fact that it was undispellable until 5.x maybe was a bit much. As a healer, you should be able to heal anytime. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think the Radiant Recovery change was fair. I think the Healing Light change was not needed, per se. Like, you can make it a bit weaker if you want to lower Cleric's output, right? But, you know, straight up removing your... I think they looked more at like Throne and Liberty than they did Iron One. Because in Throne and Liberty, it was the same thing, right? Throne, you could run out of healing buttons, basically. You could. And your baseline heal had like... What was the cooldown? It was like 10 seconds, wasn't it? We wouldn't design DPS that had strict downtime. I mean, yeah, like, you can left click, right click at any time on a DPS, right? So, is that a martial X form? 100% blind stigma? Well. Alright, well. Unfortunately, he plays Sork, so he's not gonna put much of a fight, yeah. Moving agency from healers? Yeah. I mean, I think they will eventually go back a bit because I think I do think healers were mostly keeping quiet up until today, but after the live, like the dev live, the fact that there was nothing for Cleric. In fact, I am paralyzed. 5 seconds of paralysis, holy. In fact, the Cleric changes were actually nerfs. Like, the Noble Energy is QL, but then they're like, oh, by the way, it's dispellable now, so it's even less usable in PvP. So, which technically qualifies as a nerf, so. I'm hitting this assassin for fucking 100 damage when I hit him. The thing is, right, is the healing nerf on Cleric is not as justified when potions are that powerful. It's like, okay. Specifically hated Throne's healer design because of that? Yeah. And even then, like, Throne allowed you to... Even though the button had a cooldown, Throne allowed you to have preemptive healing in the sense that Bow allowed you to stack healing touch, right? So even though you couldn't spam, you always had like a strong hot running. And then Orb had distorted veil, so even though it wasn't always up, you always had a shield up, right? Like stuff like that, basically. It's the same fucking guy, isn't it? Okay, dude, whatever. You're trading damage for being able to heal support, but then you can't even do that properly. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And like, that's always the counter argument of people. It's like, you're a support class, you shouldn't be doing damage. But it's like, at this point, if it wasn't for benevolence, Chanter would kind of have better supports than we have. Because I'm gonna be honest, I would rather have Recoup than Radiant Recovery right now. Recuperation is better than Radiant Recovery right now. It really is. Because it has 2 uses, it has a hot that stacks, it dispels 2 debuffs by default, it's instant, right? Like, I would rather have Recoup than Radiant Recovery. So, basically, the saving grace we have in terms of healing is Absolution and Benevolence. But these are stigmas, right? Okay, like, the baseline healing kit on Cleric is a bit disappointing right now, for sure. But then again, if I'm gonna be honest... Oh, well, I'm paralyzed. That's the other support class, by the way, guys. If you were wondering, yeah. Why is the support class doing so much damage? Yeah, have you seen Chanta? Chanta's getting more damage this patch. But yeah, again, as I said, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't even mind the healing power of Cleric right now. Also, I should be doing this sugar game. Hold up, we have more important PvP matters. It's just that the rest of the kit feels a bit underwhelming outside of the healing, so yeah. Like, now that Noble Aura is usable somewhat in PvP because of the cooldown reduction, because it's basically gonna be like a 35-40 second cooldown after the patch. Now that it's usable, I'm gonna try using it because I have it to 20 anyway, so I might as well try. But I did run tests in PvP with it already. And Noble Energy in PvP right now does less damage than your right mouse button. Like, so let's say if you're doing 1.5k with Judgment Thunder, Noble Energy does like 1.1. So in scenarios where your Judgment Thunder is doing 100 damage, like if you're fighting another support class or a gladiator, then I don't think Noble Energy is going to be doing any damage. And it also doesn't attack when you're not attacking. So it's not even like you can use it as passive damage when you're knocked down or when you're healing yourself, because it doesn't attack if you're not attacking. So I think it's just going to be... Like, we already were not going to use it in PvP, but I think even less now, yeah.
Moving on, you get extra points for collecting balloons, Nirk.
But yeah, again, I don't want to always complain, right? Ultimately, it is what it is, and I live with it. But yeah, I am finding it a bit tough to have the will to go out and PvP right now, because I just know I'm not going to run into interesting fights, because the fights that could be interesting, I will never be able to kill my target. I can't. Even if I build for damage, I would not be able to. That's the thing. Like, the only thing building for damage, as a Cleric does in PvP, is it makes you get one shot. Your damage is still going to be underwhelming, but on top of that, you're not going to be able to survive long enough to heal yourself. So, yeah. Can you show the Noble Energy tooltip at level 20 once you're out of sugar? Sure, yeah.
Round 5.
Can do. I mean, I can do it right. Yeah. There you go. You can read it while I'm doing this.
Here's the answer, Nirk. Round 6.
Let me know if you're good. Nah. What the? Why are they doing round 6?
Round 7.
Oh, they were missing points. Okay, I mean they can just take one more. Like that's fine.
Look out for the balloons and the tiles, Nyark. Here's
Yo, this guy got fucked by the belly block. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we're good now.
keep going. The final rankings still aren't decided.
But yeah, basically, the reason why Noble Energy is doing okay damage is specifically because of the extra 30% down to bosses, right? But in PvP, it doesn't do anything. And the extra 20% damage to debilitating mark targets doesn't really do much in PvP because number one, people can just pot it.
Good work.
And number two, debilitating mark doesn't really work properly against moving targets. So when you use it in PvP, half the time it doesn't even land.
See you next time, Nyark.
Yeah. But I'll try running anyways. Again, it's already level 20, so I might as well. I'm not getting shit out of the sugars, dude. I'm really not. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, again, it's AP. AP is AP, you know? But yeah, Templar is getting an attack buff, Chanter is getting an attack buff, so obviously these two classes were also struggling a bit with damage in PvP, albeit not as much as Cleric, but they were dealing pretty low damage, right? So they might be able to do a bit better in solo PvP right now, but Cleric didn't get anything, yeah. Yeah. A party attack buff? What do you mean? Classes are getting an attack buff. Oh, like they're getting like an offense buff. Like Chanter and Templar get more offense. Like Chanter's gonna do a lot more damage with Dark Rush in PvP. And it's also going to ignore crit res. And Templar is getting double the modifier on Battlefield Banner. As well as a faster animation on Judgment. GoFundMe to send coffee van with buff Cleric slogan next to anti-quarter. Yeah. For real. Is that an officer? How did I miss that? Ah yes, Evasion Ranger. So now we know exactly how that ends. Like the thing is, Ranger has like half of its kit that ignores block, so you know, he's able to do a bit of damage. That makes, I guess... And like, see, even though he's actively blocking me because half of Ranger's kit ignores block, still gonna be able to like damage me just fine, while also being built into evasion. Sork no buff. Sork got a bit of both PvE and PvP damage buff, but in PvE I think it's gonna be nice. Because, you know, Sork was lagging a bit behind in PvE. Not by much, right? But it's lagging behind a bit. Which kind of sucks considering the damage is the only thing it brings. But in PvP, I don't think it's going to help Sork at all. I don't think it will. Like, Sork needs CC. Oh, so now you come back, I see. And now there's an assassin, because there's always an assassin when you're trying to have fun in the game. But yeah, Soul got a bit of a damage buff, but they need more reliability on their CC. Like they need something like Kaisenals from SM, in my opinion. Like that would help Soul more than any amount of damage buff. What is Cleric's DPS in right now? Let's see. This video is 2 months old, brother. Like, you're talking about Divine Aura, right? Look at the rate of fire of Divine Aura now. This is the rate of fire of Divine Aura now. And it does 100 damage per hit on PvP. And yes, I have the spec to make it shoot faster. Divine Aura got nerfed into crap. The whole class did. That's the thing, right? Like, it really feels like there was like a very short period of time that traumatized people with Cleric in PvP. And they giga slashed the class into oblivion after that. And now people still have like this skewed vision that Cleric is apparently like doing well, even though, you know. Cleric was OP? Yeah, Cleric was OP. It was the first half of season 2, I think, right? Pretty fucked up by Cleric, and now not anymore. Cleric's just really tanky. The thing is that Cleric is not even tanky. Cleric, just like pretty much more Cleric build for defense. So obviously there's more Cleric that run block, and block inherently, like the stat is tanky. And Cleric is able to heal itself, right? But in terms of the amount of damage you take as a Cleric, like if you get ambushed by an assassin or you get stunned, you kind of just die as a Cleric really fast. It's not like Templar, where Templar can just go AFK for like 15 minutes, come back, and not be half health, right? Basically Cleric is like a bit tankier than like a DPS, but it's mostly like sustaining through heals. Because Cleric doesn't have any passives that gives it like endurance or damage tolerance, right? Unlike Gladiator and a Templar. Nerfed even harder. I mean, okay, it's a bit different though, because Gladiator was never in a state of not being able to like actually hit people at all. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Gladiator, the only point in time where Gladiator was like not doing great was the end of season 1. But then for the rest of the time, Gladiator was okay, always good to the best class in the game. Like somewhere in between those. Bro, there's like those things called Seed of Detection. Removed items from kit and gave nothing back at all. Yeah, just like Cleric. They took away Divine Aura and they doubled the cooldown of healing. And then they said, go. Go, my child. We were even the only class that didn't get the new stigma for like 2-3 weeks. You know. HP passive on Cleric feels wicked on other classes. The HP percent one, I don't know if that's the case. I mean, maybe. I haven't really looked at this one specifically because you don't build it, because it's so bad. Like, you might as well roll Constitution over it, because it's like 1% per level or something like that. That was totally useful when they had this resist grab crab into survival world. Yeah, I mean, I think every class that had a grab, basically like Gladiator, Assassin, Chanter, were not doing well when grab had resist. Basically, yeah. Because pressing the grab actively just like hurt you. Which was stupid, to be fair, so it's a good thing they changed that. But like that's what I said, right? It was like on the back end of season 1, early into season 2, right? Where that was the case. Because all of a sudden, Glad wasn't able to stun you for 16 seconds. When Global comes out, must we uninstall the current IM2 we have? No. No, you don't have to do that. Even if you still use purple, you're gonna be able to install both individually. Different mentality towards classes when Glad was, yeah, I mean. People agree Cleric got fucked. Here's the thing, right? Absolutely no one is saying anything about Cleric in Korea. And when you point out to people that Cleric is not doing very hot right now, they tell you that Cleric is doing more damage than Assassin in PvE, and that it's fine in PvP. Which, like, and then you show them hard data about the PvE, like the PvE damage, like scaling across different classes, and then they're like, oh, this is surely not representative. Okay, I think your trust me, bro, is has significantly more value than actual hard data. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Maybe Chanted Ult has pretty much the same HP as my Cleric main. Yeah, maybe that's possible. Meet the only other class. Meet the other class that is dog shit right now, Sorcerer. The one enemy I am able to face in an honest battle. 07, brother. May we meet in better conditions after the patch. Godspeed. You can rest now. Okay. You cannot reuse yet. Okay, well. Can I land on that? There we go. Never punished. How tough is in the global accounts I put the different from Taiwan? I mean, what I said is that you can still have both game installed, but obviously the character is not going to be shared across region. But you can still have the Taiwanese IN2 install at the same time as the NA on purple. That you can do that. And hello, Andrew. Sork is so bad class on PvP. Yeah, I mean, as I said, class is... The one thing that is saving Cleric from the trash bin is that Sork is currently the worst class in the game. Like, that's the one saving grace. It's like, you know, you're eating dog shit right now, but it's okay. Because Sork is eating human dog shit, which is like, somehow worse. Like, here's the thing, guys. You would think I'm exclusively missing. I am hitting this guy. You know, not on every hit. I am hitting this guy. It's just that I'm hitting him for 300 damage. Full evasion, by the way. Full evasion. No other layer of defense. Just Cleric does that damage, I guess. They're gonna play Cleric on Global, just going to have to wait and see what they cook. I mean, ultimately, Global is like 4 months away, right? So... at the end of the day, things are likely going to be different. It's just that right now, if you're like me and you play Cleric and you mostly like solo PvP, you're not having a good time. Which, to be fair, is a huge minority, and I know that. I know that to be true. Like, I'm probably the only person that cares about that. Are you going to use Steam on purple or global? I'm gonna use Steam. Vision Rangers in, block Templar, gonna make another Genius preset for more accuracy. Yeah, I mean, okay, here's the thing, right? If this was global, because you guys don't know me from IN1, right? Like, I can tell you right now that on Taiwan, I am being chilling. I am not tryharding at all. Like, you think this is me tryharding, you're completely out of your mind. If this was global, I would be going for multi-sets. Like, already. I would be going for an accuracy swap. But on Taiwan, I genuinely cannot be asked. I don't want to burn myself out. I don't want to spend the time. So I'm just dealing with it. Multisets, you're crazy. I mean, Kegi, mark my word. And I said that during our podcast, by the way. And I'll say it again. This game is going to end the exact same as Iron 1. Mark my fucking word. I said, as soon as we get genus presets, multiset is gonna be possible in the game. We have genus presets. Multiset is possible. It's just that no one is exploiting it right now. But trust me, it's gonna come. The time will come. I'm from Singapore, my ping Taiwan is like 60 ping. I got burnt out. I'm already sub 2, not swiping. I mean, it just depends on your approach with those types of games, right? Me personally, I never get tired. And I'm a bit of a... I like problem solving with this game. It's like, I run into a problem on Iron 1, right? On Iron 1, I run into a problem with my class, and instead of complaining, I was like, okay, I'm gonna build this very specific set that I'm gonna use in this very specific scenario. And I'm gonna do the same thing on global for this game. Gonna get PvE and multiple PvP sets? Yes. Here's the funny part, Kegi. I'm gonna reuse the PvE set as an accuracy PvP set. Oh, I'm just gonna go this way. I'm just going to build my PvE set to also have high levels of accuracy. And I'll build a separate genus. And bam. That's an accuracy swap. You're gonna still main Cleric on global? Undecided, but it doesn't matter the class. Every class builds the same way. So if there's an evasion and block meta on global as well, I'll be making an accuracy swap. Well, that's a full group. God, I hate pulls, man. And I'm pulled again. I haven't used Steam much since the Dota 2. I guess Steam is easier to use. Yeah, I mean, it's just easier to centralize everything, and like it's easier to also keep track of your game time and stuff like that, right? How is Steam support team? Top notch. That is another reason. If there's a problem with the game, like Steam got your back. Any idea of how much accuracy is enough against those evasion ranger sin and block Templar? So there's threshold based on the type of player, right? The absolute highest is like 4.2k, right? The general populace is around 3.5, which is pretty easy to build, actually. And then the low end is 3k. But at the bare minimum, you're basically going to want to build for around 3.5. Honest. And of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, see, that's the thing. When you see a cleric, right, you know that guy is not alone. Because no cleric wants to PvP alone right now. Hey, look, that's a block gladiator that is able to hit me very hard. Because it's fair when gladiator does it. Easy to build, he says, when I roll everything but block on my genus. I mean, I said for accuracy, 3.5k is not difficult to build, right? Because you basically cap precision with your weapons, right? And then for the rest, it's just you get accuracy here and there. And like the value on milestones is pretty high, so reaching 3.5 is not that bad. Even with an incomplete genus. Like 1k accuracy gonna make genius presets? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of those stats where it's like purely, it just purely works by thresholds. Depending on like what the prey base is building, so yeah. But yeah, like obviously when the game comes to global, the obvious class for me to build right now would be Gladiator, because Gladiator has everything for itself in PvP right now, right? It has the tankiness, it has the sustain, it has the damage, it has the CC, it still has invulns, it has really strong buffs, it's still really strong in group, right? But I don't know, I don't really fuck too much with Gladiator in this game, the way it works. So I don't think I'm gonna be playing it. Again, I'm leaning more towards the likes of Templar and Enchanter. Also, I guess the maintenance starts in 5 minutes. Look at that. How time flies. Definitely not Iron 1 Glad. The thing is, I also didn't play Glad on Iron 1. It's just, it just isn't my thing, right? Also, I have a pretty strong stigma against Gladiator. In general. Like, it's just a me thing. If I were not a Glad, I would choose Templar. Templar is insane in PvP. I wouldn't... Templar has the infinite CC, which is very annoying in PvP. But Templar also doesn't do much damage right now. If I'm gonna be honest. Like, Templar suffers of the same problem as Cleric. In terms of its damage. It's just that Templar at least has the CC power. Yeah. Don't forget to reset Stigma. I don't need to. I already know what's happening, and I already have all of the Stigma I want. Because I bought... you see my IP? I spent everything to get use skills to 20. So I don't have I don't have to respec anymore. Like, that's it. I don't need to unspec or respec anything. Maintenance in 3 minutes? Yes. Maintenance is 3 minutes. Great for me. Horshik would sacrifice everything from my enemy in Smash. Yeah. But I mean, already in Iron 1, right? I mean, again, I played everything, but honestly, my preferred class archetype in Iron 1 was like, again, versatility, potential, right? So anything that has that had like a balanced kit of DPS, still like a health, and so on and so forth, as well as the ability to make use of gear swap a lot. So, you know, the Chanters, the Templars, the Clerics, so on and so forth, right? Alright. Yo, remember chat on that maintenance? Oh, I guess this guy's gonna die. I was gonna say remember last maintenance when I fought a Glad until the maintenance started. Yeah, that was about to repeat, but the assassin saved me from that. Just like over-aggression is fun. Yeah. I just like more like more backseat, more strategic approach when it comes to PvP personally. Which is one of the reasons why I like rifting so much in 9-1, because you use your terrain just as much as you're using your class, right? Which is like, I love that type of shit. Ah, yes, 2 ranges for the price of 1. Oh, nice. How thoughtful, even. And I'm not blocking anything, dude. Holy. And both of them are evading me, so what do you know? Yeah, well, I guess we'll just... yeah. Ah, yes, the assassin is saving the day again. Yo, thank you, dude. Hell, a paid actor. You will receive your payment after the servers go down. Well, 10 seconds left until maintenance. Will this guy die? Yes. This guy won, though. Alright. Alright, let's go look for the patch notes now. It's not gonna be a big one, right? But I still did want to get through it with you guys and share some thoughts. If we're both strategic, nothing fun happens. I don't know, man. I liked some of the longer fights on Iron 1 personally. But I know I'm a minority in that. Which is one of the reasons why I did like 5.1x to some extent. Okay, let me just do this, I guess. What is my interweb thing? There it is. Alright. Yeah, it's a very small one. I guess this stream is gonna be very short, guys, so I'm sorry for that. As always, I'll be making my patch note video after the maintenance is over, and then tomorrow we're gonna be blasting, so. Alright, so content and system. Yeah, okay, so they added accessories to the two existing conquest dungeons, like gold accessories. So there it is. And they removed the easy fungi farming, which is really sad. If you guys didn't know, which I mentioned it on my Discord, so you know, if you didn't know, you just fucking missed out and you should be joining my Discord. But in Blue Breath Island, the fungies on the side of the road, if you just aggro them, they just like explode after like 2 seconds, and you get like 9,000 kina and they drop full loot when you do that. Which means that across all of your characters, you are basically able to just enter Azure Island, run through the dungeon, make all of the fungies blow up, and get your 1 million kina cap in like 10 minutes. And get a bunch of golds as well. And you were able to do that on every character. But they removed that. They removed it, unfortunately. So no more easy farm. Alright, so class changes, shock hit, that's impact hit. So they are, and now I know this, too bad. I mean, to be fair, I've been doing it for like the last 3 days, so it's not like it was common knowledge for this long. But I just figured, wow, does those fungus give kina? I wonder if I could. It's nothing the self healing. Yeah, that's what I said. They're nothing life leech. That gold is not capped. Kina is capped to 1 million kina per character per day. So basically, I was just running through 3 characters doing it. So I made like 9 million by doing this over 3 days, plus a couple of golds. Like I was getting like 3 golds on average. But yeah, anyways. So this is the impact hit passive that multiple, like mainly the melee classes have. So now it's getting equalized. So this is a buff to CC chance to everything but Gladiator. To Gladiator, it's a nerf, but as we're going to see later, Gladiator is receiving the CC chance in a passive now, like a buff. So basically Gladiator didn't lose anything. But Assassin is gonna have more CC chance now, XD. Is to apply life leech to my party. That's not. I mean, I just said it was a nerf to life leech. Like a couple of your skills got a life leech nerf because it was still too much, basically. Especially in PvP, it was too much. So survival willpower is getting a slight buff. So basically, you have 0.5% more baseline, and you get 0.5% more per level. So yeah, like we're basically gonna have like, I don't know, fucking 5% more status effect resist when we log in, which isn't gonna change anything, but you know, because like we are already getting stunned on Defiance plus survival willpower plus capped willpower plus status effect resist by Gladiators. So this is not gonna, basically like all of this is nothing. It's just it's a buff to Assassin. GG. That's it. That's all. Alright, so they're fixing the life leech like chat log, because apparently like it was not adding up everything. And they are changing life leech so it's not impacted by incoming healing, which I guess could be a nerf. Well, we'll have to see exactly in game. how it's going to work out. And you know, the QL on stealth, like if you get hit at the same time you use stealth, you're not gonna get brought out of stealth anymore. They buff assassin even outside of patchnote. Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? It's like Cleric is not doing well, better buff assassin. So yeah, so for the rest, it's as I said. So Ruinous Blow and Leaping Slime get 15% CC chance extra. So basically, the CC chance that you lost from Impacted, you recouped it on the buff from these. And it's actually a buff because instead of just being impact hit, it's everything now. Which means that you're basically going to proc Theostones more often as a Glad. Like this is basically, all of those changes is basically what it results into. Mockingblade. So yeah, as I said, Mockingblade is going to deal a lot more damage in PvE, but it has less life leech now. The lifesteal nerf was way too drastic. I think life leech as a mechanic should not exist to a very strong extent in a Trinity game. So even if they nerfed it to the ground, I think it's fine. Genuinely. Especially considering they buffed potions so much. Like, potions are fucking cracked now. Like, if you guys are not using potions, you're griefing. They keep making healers not able to heal. I take 90% of my HP in one hit. I mean, that's just a matter of, you know, building for block and stuff like that, I guess. But ultimately, if they need to adjust anything, it's healers healing and not life leech as a whole. Now that being said, right? That being said, Chenta heals a lot now. Recoup is insane now. So if you have a Chenta in your group and you're struggling with survival, you should probably insult them. Yeah. What's on Ode and the other, but still I don't know. I feel so fragile now. I mean, again, Cleric is not able to spam heals anymore, so there's also a bit of that. Oh my god, combat takes 0 damage, I'm full HP. Yeah, I mean, if it... And it's also that, right? Like, the thing with PvE in this game is, unless you run at least 2 of the supports that bring up your damage tolerance, you basically get, like, one-tabbed by everything. But as soon as you run these 2 classes, you don't take damage anymore. So... That is another problem. And like that's also a problem in PvP. It's just that, as I said, and I keep saying this and I'm gonna keep saying this, the 2 extremes go too far, right? Damage is either too much or too little, and there's no there's nothing right in the middle, right? So yeah, Mockingblade and Oilbind deal a lot more damage in PvE now, specifically against bosses. Crushing Wave doesn't need to crit to life leech anymore, which I don't know how much of a buff that is. I think you guys were critting most of the time anyways, but you know, I guess indirectly you're gonna get more life leech now from this. Murderous Burst is gonna give you 30% PvE damage extra, so that's funny. You know, that's quite the buff. Like, Gladiator is actually going to do a lot of damage. Yeah. Rage Burst. That's how it's called, right? Or is it Rage Explosion? I mean, either way. It basically will do a similar effect to Template Taunt. So it's going to reduce the attack of the target by 10%, and it's going to increase your damage output by 10% in PvE and 5% in PvP. So another Gladiator damage buff in both PvE and PvP this time. That's 30% more PvE damage on Murderous Burst. That's how they covered it in the dev live. Okay, so Lunge Stance just gives you 5% smite for free now. So, yeah. Alloy DPS, I level for the debuff. I think it gives you 30% more damage. I mean, again, translation shenanigans, I'll have to check it once I'm online. But, you know. But yeah. Launch stance gives you 5% smite, which is huge. But that is, you just get that free. Just take it, right? That is the lifesteal bleed, right? So the 7% health absorption goes down to 2%. And then grit is the invuln, and the invuln removes dot when you use it now. I think it's the first one, Raiden, yeah. But again, we'll have to see in game. It could be a translation quirk, but I think that's what it is, yes. Alright, next. That is Templar. So punishment has less recovery frames. So you're locked, your animation locked for less time. So faster judgment spam basically, which should increase Templar DPS by a significant amount. Obviously, depending on your whatchamacallit. Oh yeah, it's this one, right? Depending on your ping, I guess. Yeah, Blow of Punishment is the other one. It's the I forgot the name, but either way, it's not that significant. Okay, so Annihilate is gonna do more damage against bosses, 50% more. So yeah, huge PvE buff. Blow of Punishment at 4. Yeah, might be, dude. I forget the name right now. It's escaping my mind. Which again is the reason why, one of the reasons why I'm doing these when I'm able to check in game typically. Blow of Protection, that's Swording Strike, 30% more PvE damage. Not that relevant, honestly. Like the damage of this was not exactly relevant to begin with, but you know, 30% extra damage is 30% extra damage. So the battlefield flag change is actually quite significant because you're gonna get twice as much attack now from it. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see how much this is going to impact. I guess you'll get like 200 more attack, 150, I think, on like a geared Templar. I think it's something like that. I don't think it's gonna be like that huge, but you know, a buff is a buff. And then Flash Rampage, just the CDR spec didn't work. Yeah. Alright, Chanta. Oh, is that Assassin? Damn, they didn't mention Assassin during the dev live. Okay. That's Assassin, right? Yeah, that's Assassin. Okay, so that's hard goal. Health subject conditions when hitting critical hit. Okay, so hard goal will not crit anymore? No more false crit on hard goal? Is that right? That's interesting. Jungbo Bake, I have no idea what this is. I could not even begin to translate that. Life leech on crit. Oh, right. So same thing as that, right? Oh, it's the condition, right? Okay, so it always life leech now. I see. Ray Travis discipline increases to 10 to 20 meters, so that's a buff. Tension of 3 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Okay, so that bug fix and buff then. Infiltrate might be the case, yeah. Okay, Smoke Bomb, that's the correct name. Okay, that's a tooltip fix. Action time, surprise that it was not indicated. That's a tooltip fix as well. And that's a tooltip fix as well. Okay, so Assassin got buffed. So Assassin got more CC chance. Hard goal doesn't need to crit anymore to life leech. And the Infiltrate has a wider range. Not a big buff, but a buff nonetheless. Which, it's pretty funny. Palace, that's a Ranger. Okay, they removed the crit. Okay, same thing. They removed the crit condition on the life leech. Just another line too. Yep. %50 chance on specialized critical strike to change the recast time initiation effect to 1 additional trigger. What? Okay, so you can use it twice now, I guess. I see. Interesting. So PvE damage buff. I mean, they're basically soft reversing the PvE damage nerf from last week. That's basically what they're doing. So I guess that should bring it closer to SM in the PvE damage. It's still probably going to be slightly behind though, I think. But at least it's going to be closer now. And they're also nerfing the life leash from the orb. Reroll Sin, yeah, for real, dude. Sin is the fucking golden child right now. It's crazy. Bobo Seong, that is Chanta? Yeah, that's Chanta. Okay. Yeah, that's Dark Rush. Secret crushing, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, by the way. Spinning Strike, which is that the left click or the right click? But yeah, either way, Spinning Strike gives you 5% crit damage boost and 5% healing boost. Stackable 3 times now. So Chanter just gets 15% crit damage boost and 15% healing boost now. You know. And the third spec deals more damage to bosses now, instead of trash packs. Dark Rush is mobile by default. Now guarantee crit and does 20% more PvP damage. Yeah. And then fucking everything got buffed in PvE. They removed the health condition on Promise of Earth, which that's fair. They've been doing that anyways. And Recoup, the hot from Recoup now stacks. So if you use 2 Recoups back to back, you'll have a much stronger hot. Class change when? Yeah, well. And that's just a bug fix. And they removed the additional healing on what's the name again? Protection Circle? Or is it Protection Circle or is it Impending Authority? It might be Impending Authority, this one, yeah. Can't have Cleric do more damage than Chantas in PvE. I mean, the thing is, Chanta as is, before this patch, was already doing about 10% more than Cleric, without accounting for raid buff, right? So when you account for Invincible Mantra, as well as Power of the Storm, Chanta was much higher than Cleric in PvE. But you know. Last time I tried to tell a Chanta that, he told me I was retarded, so. Regardless of how much data you show them. Alright, so Cleric. Hey, they finally fixed Salvation that wasn't activating on half of the fucking CCs in the game. Only took them 5 months, you know, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't even use it anymore, so I don't even care. So Salvation removed dots when you use it now, which, who cares? Noble Energy. So they lowered the cooldown from 5 minutes to 1 minute. I still think Noble Energy should be a toggle and not have a cooldown, but whatever. But guess what? They nerfed it because they made it so if you get dispelled, it dispels Noble Energy. So it already was not usable in PvP at all for multiple reasons. But now, if for some reason you use it in PvP, Assassins and SM can just unsummon your energy and do more damage to you because you have it out. So this was already unusable in PvP. You're still not going to be using it in PvP. Even though the cooldown man might make it usable. I mean, it doesn't fucking do damage in PvP anyways. Who are we kidding? This shit does like 500 damage. Alright, so... so they nerfed U-Steel so you can't stack it anymore. So no more Cleric stacking in PvP. And they made it more easier to see if people are like within the range of U-Steels now. So cool. And then for the rest, it's just Just bugs. Bugs and tooltip fix. So yeah. Basically, nothing. Moving on. Nothing happened to Cleric. Noble Energy is slightly less cancer to use, and it got nerfed in PvP. That's all that happened. Alright, SM. That's Proxy, right? So Proxy got a range buff. Like slight range buff. Curse. Got a tooltip fix. And is a elemental buffs were acquired excessively intermittently, and space domination was continuously activated. That's the pet action, right? With Fire Spirit. I haven't really played SM after the change, so you guys can tell me if you're sad about that. It sounds to me like you were able to activate more pet action than you were intended to with Fire Spirit. Elemental Fusion. Okay, well, that's just a bug fix. That's a tooltip fix. Okay, that's also a bug fix. Okay, cool. Sork. So Sork got damage buff in PvP across the board, and Inferno deals more PvE damage. More PvE damage. I'm gonna be honest. This is not going to save Sork. Sork needs Sork basically needs Kaisenol. if you want Sork to do better in PvP, you need to give them Kaisenol so they can run Polymorph and Seal, and also make the Seal not bind you in place for like 5 business days. And maybe Sork will be able to do something interesting in PvP. But until then, you can buff the damage as much as you want. It's not going to save Sork. So, I don't know, dude. I don't know who's in charge of these buffs, but he's a bit of a moron. Alright, so damage boost and damage tolerance in PvP is uncapped now, which... And also they floored the PvP damage chains to be 20%. So basically what this means is, after the patch last week, if you had PvP gear, you were basically already capped on PvP damage tolerance without running buffs, right? So after last week, the stuff like Ustials and Warding Strike and so on and so on were not actually giving you PvP damage tolerance if you were not using PvE gear, which was a huge buff to Horn Dragon gear in PvP. So they fixed that. Now it's uncapped, so you can go up again. And they made it so damage boost is getting floored at 20%, which, because of the tolerance fix, I don't think is going to change much. I am putting a lot of hope in this, in that maybe it's going to help Cleric not deal 20 points of damage to gladiators. But basically, this is either going to make it so you won't do 0 damage to supports anymore, or it's not going to change anything. And I think it's not going to change anything. But we'll see. We'll see. What's the point of the second one? I think the point of this one is so people don't have insane amounts of damage tolerance that makes it so people drop to 0% or even below 0% PvP damage boost and deal 1 point of damage in PvP. They want you to retain a bit of attack power, basically. Even if you fight someone who is overbuffed, they want you to be able to deal some damage. Which, you know, I'm sure is going to work for Assassin and Gladiator, but for the rest of the classes, you're still going to be dealing ZDPS, so... Horn gear is kind of nerfed and PvP gear got buffed. I wouldn't say it's a nerf or a buff, I would say it's an oversight fix, because I don't think that was intended. That was an indirect buff to Horn Dragon gear last week, which is one of the reasons why you may have noticed that a lot of juiced PvP players were running full PvE gear this week. Because if you played in a group, you were able to cap your tolerance in full PvE gear. So yeah. Some of the season mission will be modified. Okay, they are deleting some steps in the Abyss weeklies. I don't know what that gave. I hope they didn't delete the potential stones. Wow, you were able to get potential stones in corridor and they deleted it. I'm gonna be honest, if we were able to do so, I never fucking saw it. So, I mean, then again, I have been farming at least 1 hour per day in patches up. All right, let me hold on. I have been farming at least 1 hour per day in Middle Abyss, and I have gotten 1 potential stone. 1. Doing my ult in corridor, holy shit, dude. 1 potential stone for Middle Abyss, yep, same. Same. Alright, boss appearance event, which takes place after the end of war occupation. Next boss monster is renamed. Enforcer Kyra. Okay, well, they're just fucking renaming them. Okay. Thank you for the photo, fuck ones, by the way. Appreciate it. So that's just visual. Okay. So they're adding Pantheon paintings to the new Abyss bosses. Like the ones that spawn after sieges, you're gonna be able to get Pantheon paintings from these. Okay. Okay, so they're buffing Kyra and Argos, which I guess is fair because they were just dying in 5 seconds. And thank you for the follow, Shafran. Yeah. Appearance of Watchman Kyra is adjusted. Okay, topographic. Okay, so they are slightly modifying the layout of the terrain in Middle Rush. I'm guessing they're gonna change the mushrooms because there were a lot of people like perching themselves up on the mushrooms above the windstream on the Helios side to kill people who were going to the windstream. So I'm guessing it's gonna be they're gonna be removing stuff like that. Some of the mushroom locations. Bug fixes with Shugo Games. Event. Yeah, so that's the typical event. So we're gonna get a daily login thing. They're adding a pass for 100,000 Kina. Only once per server, so only on your main. And I think it's going to give... Is that the one? Reinforce rune. Yeah, it gives some Odell energy. Yeah, it gives some like a couple of things. It's nothing really special. So this pass is kind of mid. I mean, it gives energy. We're not gonna complain about free energy, right? Okay, they're adding event missions as well. Okay. Didn't they add also a paid Kuna pass? I think they did, right? Okay, so they're adding the die event as well again. So if you want to die something, you can do it for cheap now. New armor appearance. Lazy pajama. Another one of these. Okay, dude. I'm gonna be honest. If you guys give me like a good weapon appearance, I'll buy it. But they keep giving us like casual clothes. What about the Guna skins? I don't think there's any now right now. I mean, maybe this one. Maybe this one is gonna be Guna. Dying should just be free. I think it's okay to monetize dying. I think it's fine because the dying system is like very, very intricate. Like anything cosmetic, I don't really have a problem with it being monetized, considering like how extensive the skin system is in this game, right? Like I think it's okay, and it's pretty cheap, right? Like 100 kuna is fucking nothing. It's like less than $1. A new pet. Oh yeah, they're adding a whale pet. That's pretty funny. Adding crushing through protection management will be unavailable. Really? Okay. Okay, so you're gonna be immune to CCs in win streams. So basically, if you guys PvP'd in Lower Abyss, you would know that there's a couple of win streams where there was like Templars and Rangers hiding in the lip under them that were just like pushing people out of the win stream to make them fall to their death. So now that's not gonna be able to happen anymore. Character customization should be included in the sub. I mean, honestly, given the price of the sub, I would not disagree. But then again, they keep giving us free character reskin tickets. Like they've given us like, I don't know, like fucking 10. So that was funny. It is funny. It is really toxic though. So probably a good thing overall. Giant seal pet that looked very cute. Yes. Yes, the white one. That I think we data mined that like a little bit ago. All right. Contents curtains not being created when restarting. About inspection force. Okay, all of these are bug fixes so far. Improved the sound perception when using items such as potions, elixirs, and rolls. Do you okay? For the Iron One players, do you think they're gonna bring back the like loud fucking submarine beep when you use a consumable? Do you think that's what they did? Hmm. Lighter protection double energy is driven to prevent long-lasting loop-shaped sound. Ah, thank you. Thank you, dude. Okay, look, man. Cleric may be in the dumpster right now, but at least Light of Protection is not gonna make a sound, the same sound as a fucking 5G antenna anymore. Thank the Lord for that. Holy shit. That was so obnoxious. And welcome back, Deezer. Okay, that's a bug fix. Bug fix. Okay. They removed the stun from the first boss of Azure. Now it's just going to put a dot on you. So rejoice, Raiden. You're not gonna get your asshole stunned anymore on the first boss. Something new? I think, brother. You can just watch the VOD, but not really. Assassin got a light buff, which XD. No comment. Lightning strike range 5 meters instead of 8 meters. Okay, they're also nerfing the AoE size of the AoE. I hope they fix the pillar bug as well. Let's see. Okay. They also changed the second boss, so the spore ground effect disappears when the boss dies, which again, thank God. That was a bit funny to see every single melee die instantly as soon as the boss died, you know? Good design. Okay, yeah, they fixed the dash problem. Okay, yeah. So basically all of the problem with the Azure Breath Island should be fixed. Yeah. Ring pattern, expanding current incredible move. Yeah. Okay, cool. They're also increasing the hitbox of the flowers. I mean, I think they were already wide enough, but dude, every single time I run this, I'm basically the only one that made it to the fucking Kibblisk, so hopefully that will help. Oh, that's funny. The ranking season mission counted in arena. Alright. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, but it's pretty funny. I mean, I guess, technically speaking, you could have someone of the same faction just, you know, feed you. Also, okay. I guess that's it. So, overall, not many changes, just a bunch of bug fixes, a new free pass, new event, and Cleric kind of got nothing. Assassin got a light buff, Gladiator got a light buff and a big buff in PvE. SM got some quality of life. Soak found dead in a ditch. Chanta is getting its dick sucked live on Twitch.tv, and it's kind of disgusting. Ranger is going to do slightly more PvE damage. Templar is going to do slightly more damage across the board. Where's UI of Sanks? All of the UI changes are going to be in 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I can go over them too. Let me do that actually before I end stream. So yeah, that's basically the TLDR of this patch. Once again, I will be making the patch note video once the server goes up. So, will this game eventually get new classes? Yes. They already announced that we will be getting a new class alongside the level 50. The level 50 expansion which will probably be in like 2 months. So I guess look forward to that. Let me bring up the whelps thing for the other changes. There we go. All right, so just to recap the things that were already announced with the patch in 2 weeks. So first of all, next week's patch got cancelled. There's not going to be a patch next week. So Transcendence got pushed back by 1 week. And okay, so in terms of UI improvement, we're going to get the Sanctuary UI that's going to tell you how many tickets and self-res the people have left that are joining. Chat window improvement, you're going to be able to click on people's name to bring down a menu. Basically the same thing as Iron One, right? So you click on someone's name in chat and then you have the whisper option and everything, the block option, etc, etc. If you have the second sub, it's the cube amount is going to be selected on 2 by default, so you won't have to like click the plus before pressing F. You're just going to be able to spam F at the cube now if you have the second sub, which, you know, small QOL, I guess. The buff and debuffs displayed are going to be increased from 7 to 28, which, thank God. I do hope they also extend that to the enemy bar. Yeah. And you're also going to be able to increase and decrease their size as well. So yeah, that's good. They're going to add a rear indicator on monsters. So you know the targeting ring on the ground that most MMOs have that tell you what's the front, what's the side, what's the back. We're gonna get that in 2 weeks. Guessing they forgot next week starts the National Holiday Fiesta. Maybe, I don't know. Whether it's that or they pushed it back for the because they intend the next patch, like this patch, to be quite big. I have no idea. They're going to expand the amount of markers we have. They're basically going to double them. We're going to be able to mark up to 10 and have more symbols, like a moon symbol, which is a bit funny. And yeah, I think that's it, right? But we were supposed to get a 1000 Kuna pass, which is not getting mentioned here. Did they... Am I missing it, or did they axe it? Yeah, because they mentioned the 1000 Kuna pass during the live. I guess they axed it. I'm not gonna complain, dude. Not gonna complain. Alright, yeah. Oh, that's so bad, no pass for us. My god, these guys. I mean, we are getting the free pass though, the 100k Kina one. Yeah. Larger skill bar. We can already do that, can't we? I mean, maybe we can't raise it like infinitely. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, to be fair, but yeah. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all she wrote. If I have to give any last thought, any final thought about this, please make it so the damage torrents and damage boost change. Make it so Cleric hits for more than 20 damage against other support classes. Amen. All right. I'm gonna go burn a couple of candles and like make a fucking summoning ritual to make that happen. But yeah. So yeah. Once again, I'll be making a Patchnote video. So if you want like a more thorough rundown with in-game examples, or you missed the rundown right now, that's gonna be up on my YouTube channel in like, I don't know, 3-4 hours, I guess, depending on if there's a pushback. When is maintenance ending? Yeah, like 3-4 hours. Yeah, so look forward to that. Therefore, you might summon me. Yeah. And yeah, for the time being, make sure to follow the channel on both Twitch and YouTube if you haven't already. And make sure to jump on the Discord to be made aware of my whereabouts. And that's going to be it for me for today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs and resubs. And I guess see you tomorrow. I'm gonna be blasting tomorrow as usual. A whole last like 7, 8, 9 hour stream as always. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and GG's. I should be putting background music when I do these, actually. Some food for thought. Next time, in 2 weeks. But yeah, anyways, have a great rest of your day, and see ya.